a UK show at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern, and 8 p.m. British summertime. We're not colonialists in Great Britain still, haha. And the show in the evening. So maybe sometime next week or the week after, we'll do a Wednesday morning show for Malaysia. Then we'll do a show for the UK midday. And then in the evening, we'll do a show for this side of the planet. So I'm hoping to do 3 shows. I'm super excited about Malaysia and doing a show there once a week. Everybody in Kuala Lumpur speaks better English than most Americans. So it's going to be a fun new market to look to. Pay a bill here. Couple, sponsor me. Go to my profile page, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25, 35, 35, $40 a week, a month, a day, whatever you want to do. But sponsor me. It costs money to do this. I do this full time. If you like this shit, then, pay for it a little bit. Here, like NPR, only better because you can swear. And Scooch. So these guys are nice, local, American-owned, made, of course, in China and Japan, but case company. They make cases for your cell phones. They have a really cool little gimmick, theory. I mean, it's their thing. It's a little thing they call their wingman, and pop that open and, hold your phone, doesn't slip out. Put it in landscape mode and type away, or, portrait mode. It's nice. It's really a cool little thing. Snap it back. That's the hook, literally on the device, and buy them. I don't have, this isn't one of those marketing BS things where, you buy one and I get 15 cents. These guys, they're an actual sponsor. They're an advertiser. So I don't have like a little code that you can put in there or anything. Just buy one and send them an email. Tell them why you bought it. And that way we can get more sponsors and do more cool stuff. So let's jump into it right away. Because Debbie, I think you are in Las Vegas. Is that correct?
Here I am.
Yeah.
I am in Las Vegas, Nevada, and have been for a long time, 21 years.
Oh, nice. But you're British, right?
I am British, but I grew up in the Middle East.
Oh, well, there you go. That's not going to be confusing at all. Where were you born?
I was born in England, half Spanish, half English. But I grew up in a small island in the Middle East called Bahrain. Then I lived in Paris and France for a while, and then I moved to Florida.
Oh, nice. Well, there's a lot of stories in that. So wait, was it Bahrain? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Wow. I mean,
which is often
most Americans wouldn't know
Vegas of the Middle East.
Yeah, I was going to say most Americans wouldn't know Bahrain from a freight train. So, that I'm sure there's some interesting stories there this evening too. So I don't know. There used to be a TV show, This Is Your Life. I can't remember who the host was. Man, it would have been, but before my time for the original. But I kind of have that element to my program. A little bit of Tom Snyder from the 70s in the United States. I'm trying to think of a host over there in the UK, but
I remember This Is Your Life.
Yeah, right. So we usually dive.
Bahrain, we always got American TV.
Oh, sure, right. Well, that's what I'm hoping in Malaysia. That they'll be like, oh, look at that handsome American guy, and we love America, so let's watch his show and sponsor his stuff. So, but I have no idea what the market's going to be like. In fact, I've got a few people on the ground there that I've met that are going to help me figure it out. But This Is Your Life. Like, give us a however long form, short form, however you want. Who's Debbie Richards?
Oh wow. Let's see. I wouldn't even know where to start. Let's see.
Well, usually, like my business partner, sometimes she starts like in Haiti, like 2 generations before she's born, and then I'm like waving at her like, no, not. We don't have that much time today. It's a good story. It is. She tells it well, but like you could start in the 20th century or whatever, but you don't have to go super far back or anything. You're a filmmaker. You're a,
Sure.
whatever. Tell us
Okay, sure.
anything about you.
Okay, so yeah, I grew up in the Middle East, and I, I got my first video camera in like 1979. It was giant VHS camera. So I started playing with pixels at a pretty young age, and then I lived in England. And oh, fun story! I'm a shark attack survivor. I was attacked by a shark when I lived in Bahrain.
Holy crap!
I
You
really,
are like more less like lightning strikes more often than shark attacks. Practically, I think.
right.
Holy
It was
cow!
on and it was on Friday the 13th. So
Oh
that's pretty fun.
God,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, anyways, so I spent my teenage years in England, and I got caught up in the digital music revolution. Like I think back in like 1981, it was like Frankie Goes to Hollywood and stuff like that. So there was, keyboards that could sample, and I was a musician.
Yeah,
So
right. Sorry, I'm just remembering those sampling keyboards, and that 1.5, tiny little discs or whatever. But yeah, it was a
right,
big deal
right.
back then, right?
It was a big deal, and
Yeah.
I was a musician, but I had no access to that stuff, like a synclavia keyboard, which was what
Oh,
like
sure.
that was like $30,000 at the time.
Right.
So
Right.
I had no access to any of this stuff, but I'd read magazines and I was really into it. And so I'd save up my money and I'd buy the cables because I couldn't afford any of the equipment, but I'd just buy the cables. And I went to a local recording studio and I said, I'm looking for a job. I have all my own cables. I had them in like a tennis racket bag, and they
I
gave me
like it.
a job. So so I was there for like the digital music revolution,
Huh.
and then when the web came along in '88, that was really exciting to me because I was always like kind of a bit of a futurist and a geek and into technology, obviously. So I built my first website in '88. Then I started getting into Photoshop when it switched to color, and so all these kind of skills my whole life in the digital arts kind of led me to where I am today as a filmmaker. It was kind of like a combination of a couple things. It was like this wealth of digital experience mixed with this wealth of life experience. And so it all culminated with me becoming a director. So that's a really short version.
Yeah. Well, there's still a lot to unpack in the short version. So you had your first video camera, and what did you say it was the late 70s?
Yeah, it was like it was a really big VHS camera, and
Uh-huh. Oh no, my grandfather would, because he bought a PC in the 70s. Technically, it was a personal computer. There were only two companies that made them, and it was about 40 grand. And he had and literally my um, wireless charger here has more computing power than that thing did. And he also had a honking big VHS camera back then too. So we've got VHS video from way before most people, did for home movies and stuff like that. So I know what kind of camera you're talking about.
but it was really fun. Like my friends and I would watch like the latest movies, like Indiana Jones, and then we'd go out and try and recreate stunts and stuff from it, and we'd burn down garden sheds with like explosive mishaps and
Hopefully these were people's garden sheds that they were cool with you burning them down, right? I hope.
well, it was so funny because we wanted to blow up a truck, right? So we got this little toy of a car, and we just
Uh-huh.
poured gas on it, and we lit it, and then we're like filming it, and it's just burning. It doesn't blow up, right? If you put gasoline on a toy.
Right.
So
Right.
someone had the bright idea and said to me, "Why don't you just pour some more gasoline on it while it's burning?"
Ooh,
And of course, the fire went straight up the gasoline
can.
to the
Yep.
thingy, and I threw that, and that landed on the shed in the garden, and then the shed caught fire, and my friend's mother, whose house it was, comes running out with a bowl of
Mhm.
water, trying to put it
A
out.
bowl of water. Did you wait, hold on quickly though. Was
Yeah.
the video camera still rolling?
Oh yeah, whole time.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
good. And I mean, as long as nobody was hurt,
No,
that's awesome.
but one shed was destroyed.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, it would have been tragic if the camera wasn't running. That would have been a
Right.
real tragedy.
No, the
So
lens car's
tragedy,
gone. Do it again.
tragedy. Yeah. Okay. Well, your auspicious debut in filmmaking and flames, pyrotechnics. Tell me a little bit about um, the music industry in the 80s. In that, when I think of the 80s, the early 80s, 79 to 81, 82, 83. I'm thinking punk. I'm thinking disco. I'm thinking that you can feel the new wave movement kind of coming, and rap is out there. So that time, because I'm trying to think, the Sugar Hill Gang would have been no, that's still to come, right? In
Well, you see,
80, I
I,
think.
I got the camera early on, but when I started getting into music, it was more, when I got that job at a studio, I think it was more like 87, 88.
Oh, then you're okay. Then that's yeah, that's a whole other era of musicians there. But well, you still got new wave going fairly strong, and oh gosh, the 90s are going to bring all kinds of other music. So what was it like working in music? Give us some stories about the music industry back then.
Well, I just actually worked for a small local recording studio, and it was really fun because like bands would come over from all over the country to come and record for the day, like amateur bands,
Awesome.
and they'd record 2 or 3 tracks, usually 2 tracks, and I got to work with a really wide variety of artists, and it was funny because they would always be imitations of other bands. It would be like a band
Hmm.
that looked and sounded like The Cure, or a band
Right.
that looked and sounded like Duran Duran. And it was really obvious to me at that time that to be successful, you had to look at what other people were not doing and do that. And so out of that whole experience, I started my own band, and we very quickly, over a couple of years, got pretty successful, and we got signed to a record label in London, and it was like a real roller coaster, and it imploded before it really had a chance to flourish, and it was an exciting time. I was pretty young, and yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah, that it sounds like you did get a good experience out of it. But it didn't go, probably obviously as far as long as you wanted to. But I like that still it was cool. It was a good time, and I really, I definitely know people in bands that flamed out way more than ever made it. In fact,
Did you
I
ever
only
see that
know
movie, The Commitments?
what's that.
Did you ever see a movie called The Commitments?
I think I have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's set in Ireland, about an Irish soul band that
Okay.
pretty much implodes before they ever get a chance to really get the recognition that they probably deserve. And when I look back on my time in the music industry, I always feel like a kindred kind of association with that movie, because that movie, the vibe of that, even though it's very different music and geographically a different part of the United Kingdom, it was a similar experience.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. No, I've known this was, I mean, I've been around entertainment since college, but these are just more. I don't know. When I was gigging for people and new radio people and stuff, like I have one person that like I personally know that the furthest she ever got was a contract with like Capital, $900,000 advance, which they had stopped giving it advances at that time. She didn't have to pay for any of the touring or anything because her boyfriend and was a radio record promoter guy, so he knew everything when they negotiated that contract. The lawyer, he did better than the lawyer. I mean, and she got everything up front. And Peter Gabriel produced that first album,
Wow.
and it went nowhere. I mean, all that time, your whole life, years and years of work, a big advance when nobody's getting any advances, a great contract, and she's great music, and it didn't hit. So, that you didn't make it big doesn't mean that
Well, we
you
were
guys
we were
weren't
blowing
amazing
up.
too.
We were blowing up at the time. I mean, the biggest crowd we played to was like 8,000 people at Strawberry
Oh,
Fair
that's pretty good.
Festival. We were actually, we had two separate, it's funny you mentioned record contracts because we had two separate contracts. The first one was with the local studio that I started, and it was a
Hmm.
really predatory contract. And our lawyers got us out of that, and then we got signed to a London record label, and we toured Europe and stuff. It
Oh,
was
awesome.
it was a really like fast ride. You know, we blew up really quickly, and then we imploded.
Right.
But the funny thing about that first contract is it actually said in it that we would be paid from time to time. And the lawyer, we were young, we didn't know shit, right?
It's fine.
So
Pay me from time to time. Yeah.
yeah, it was a lawyer that said, well, what is that like? Is it time? And we were like, oh, okay, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. We were like, is it time? Do we get paid now?
Yes, we'll just pay you from time to time in
Yeah.
some currency, Bitcoin or something if we feel like it. Dogecoin.
I think they thought it was like legalese, like, like
Yeah.
we do solemnly swear with the box that goes in that dog will pay from time to time.
Yeah, everything I know about contract law, I learned from watching TV shows and Rocket Lawyer. But let's take just a quick second to let people know you can give us awards in the comment section there. You can do a little sponsorship. Share this on your Instagram. Share this on your Facebook. Share it out there to the socials. That is probably the best thing that anybody out there can do for me. And tell me what. Well, wait. Did you guys have enough time? Did you ever make a music video?
We did. It's funny you should mention that. And this is one of my biggest regrets about my band. It was we imploded just a few years before like I think YouTube started. I mean,
Oh
so
yeah,
there is no like digital footprint on the internet of my
right.
band, which
Oh
is
yeah,
really
right,
sad. Which is really sad because like nowadays everything has a digital footprint, right? And
right.
so like I think someone somewhere has an old VHS of the one music video. Oh no, we did two music videos. Yeah, we did two. One in a church and one in London under a train over. They were both terrible. But it was so much fun. It was so much fun doing it. And
Well,
the second music video I think was paid for our second paid for by our second record company. So it kind of had a budget and we were treated like rock stars and we
nice.
were we were just so full of ourselves. It was awful.
I got to tell you, being the small little broadcaster that I am in the world, man, just give you a little bit of power, a little bit of ego, and ooh, you can do a lot of damage. So, ask the hotel people whenever any band of any note leaves their hotel, and at least back in the day. But
Yeah,
well, so
trashing your
let's
hotel room is a rite of passage when you're a touring musician.
exactly. So the reason I brought up the music video is because you just finished up a music video for somebody, right? It just got released.
Yeah, for an artist called Lex. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
love
that's it.
that music video. I
Thank you very
really
much.
like that music video. Are you hooked up Instagram, which technically isn't it doesn't play out like the Twitter feed or whatever did. So and I've got it hooked up to Facebook, but if I disconnected Facebook, anyway, I'd like to play the music video, but we don't have a license key for it. So I can play it on here and everything's kosher. But I just quickly disconnect my other socials because I'd like to show it. But you also made it. And technically, you can say, hey, it doesn't really give me permission, but you can say, hey, go ahead and play my video. And at least I
Yeah,
could say,
you have permission.
yeah, it's just, all right.
I'm,
So hold
I'm,
on. What's
I'm
the name of the
management.
video?
It is Love's in My Veins by an
Yep.
artist called Lex.
Yep. Love's in my veins. I really enjoy this.
It was
I think
very
I've,
difficult to make.
yeah, well, that's why I wanted to talk about it. And I'm glad we're going to be able to show it here. Let's see. Looking for it here. Why am I having this much trouble? I found it earlier in the day. Super easy. Bear with me.
No problem.
How's Vegas doing with the virus?
It's too hot here for the virus to do anything right now. It's like I think the heat just killed COVID.
Oh, wow.
It's so
Yeah.
hot here. It's like 115 today.
Oh, my gosh. And nobody's probably going out and about much either, are they?
Well, you'd be surprised. I mean, the casinos are full and the strip is full.
Ah,
So, but yeah, today there was a heat warning and it's unusually hot today.
that seems pretty early. We actually had a pretty cold May here in Chicago. And I am surprised that it's quite that hot already in Vegas. But, global warming. Hey, Shabazz, Heavenly Dew's here. Luke is here. And a bunch of other people I know are here that aren't saying hi. So come up and say hi. I am just about to grab this video here. Hang on.
Shabazz from Lynchburg City. Ooh, I want a Lynchburg lemonade now.
Tell me a little bit about the band that we're gonna see.
Oh, it's a single artist, Lex, right?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. She's a local artist, up and coming. She's amazing. She's insanely talented. She actually did you see my short dark lights?
I know. I mean, yeah, I just didn't have time because I.
Oh, no problem. Well, she actually sings the song at the beginning as well. So.
Oh, awesome!
But we slowed her voice down because it's a 6-year-old choir boy that's singing it. So we slowed her voice down so you don't even realize it's
her. That's pretty wild.
Yeah,
well, that's crazy. Oh well, we definitely can talk about that too. And is your short film, is it out on the festival circuit?
Oh yeah, it's all over the place. It played IMAX in London on Saturday night at the Odeon in Greenwich. It played at the Orlando International Film Festival the night before that. It's played at the Chinese Theater in LA about 3 weeks ago at the Michaud Film Festival where it won Best VFX.
Oh wow!
Nevada Women's Film Festival in 2 weeks on home turf.
What did you win at Mans?
Best VFX.
Oh, awesome! Oh, I know a good VFX guy in Atlanta. That's awesome. Congratulations!
Well, I was the writer, the director, the editor, the camera girl, special effects, VFX, colorist, sound designer, drone pilot, and I wrote the song at the beginning.
Yeah, I think they just call that an auteur for short. And let's see.
Tell people I'm an auteur in training.
What's that? Oh, yeah, there you go. I like that. So that we can't show your short because it's out there. But
I can send you the link to the trailer if that helps.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking, and definitely when it's off the film festival circuit, and you can get us a download and permission to show it. I could be like your last festival, a year or two even from now, whatever it is, because we do a film festival on Saturdays, but it's called the RevMac Live Pop-Up Film Festival. 6 weeks ago on a Friday, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't have a guest. What can I do? And so I'm like, oh, let's have a film festival. Oh, we'll have a pop-up film festival. Ooh, we got 2 hours. Can we get anybody? And I didn't, but 24 hours later, I had 5 films. I had co-hosts and, we had a show. So we've been doing that for quite a few weeks. And it is a blast because the filmmaker, just like this, gets to see what the reaction is to folks watching the film, in the audience. And of course, pay a lot of money to get your stuff tested like that if you're making a film. So it's kind of a fun experience for the filmmaker. And so, something.
Cool. It's actually part of an anthology that comes out in September called The United States of Horror, which is an anthology of short movies, each one representing a different state. And
wow.
My short Dark Lights is the first one on that. and it's narrated by Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead in Hellraiser, and
Holy cow! Wow.
that comes out on Amazon September 5th, I think, or 10th.
Oh, hang on a second then, because I want to see if I can get somebody to come talk to us. Hang on a second. Hold of him. He's probably in Clubhouse.
I sent you the trailer on Instagram.
Yeah, he's probably in Clubhouse, but let me see if I can get a hold of him. He'd love to talk to you. Actually, he's the video effects guy, but he does. This guy does horror well. He's got this. I don't know, is it 5-minute one shot little film called Mommy that is it'll just creep you the hell out. So that's good. I didn't realize that was the genre. We did a dedicated horror film festival thing. It must have been about our third one, because there's an actress, Alex Angeles, and she was in a film, and her sister, they're twins, and they're both musicians. So I'd been working with her sister for a little while, and Alex was in a movie, not the Conjuring, anyway, it'll come to me, but we did the whole show around horror films and that film in specific, and kind of highlighted her too. So, hey, what's up, Birdman? So yeah, in the future, I would love to, do a little film fest day for you guys and have some fun with it. I think it would be a lot of fun.
That would be really fun. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So I think I've got this thing queued up, and we are going to play this. This is, and she goes by Lex, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is Lex, Love's in My Veins. And thank you very much for sharing this with us, Debbie.
Hit me with a tainted arrow. Perfect shot, straight and narrow to the heart. Coming down with a case of sorrow. High today, low tomorrow. Written deep, infecting me. Going viral, falling spirals. Love's in my veins, feeling the pain of a mistake. Love's in my veins, bleeding a river of heartache. Love's in my veins, in my veins, in my veins. Love's in my veins, in my veins, in my veins. Feed me with a pill to swallow. Serum for the haze and hollow. In my soul, they won't let go. Going viral, sparkling spirals. Love's in my veins, feeling the pain of a mistake. Love's in my veins, bleeding a river of heartache. Love's in my veins, in my veins, in my veins. Love's in my veins, in my veins, in my veins. Running for a remedy, save me from a tragedy. Running for a remedy, save me from a tragedy. Running for a remedy, save me from a tragedy. Running for a remedy, save me from a tragedy. A tragedy. Love's in my veins, feeling the pain of a mistake. Love's in my veins, bleeding a river of heartache. Love's in my veins, feeling the pain of a mistake.
I'll unmute myself. Let me unmute you. All right. Wow. I need the applause track for that. That was great.
Thank you. It was really difficult to do because a large part of that was using a mirror, right? So the problem with mirrors, you see everything on the ceiling and everyone standing in front of the mirror and everything.
Right.
So we had to build like a little box, of black tops and black cloth, to black out all the reflections, and then use tons and tons of gaffer tape to block out reflections. And then there were still reflections, so even in post, I had to go back and get rid of those reflections. So it was a real pain in the butt.
What'd you use in post? What'd you edit with?
I edit with Adobe Creative Cloud and a Mac OS X environment. I do my 3D modeling in Blender, and then I bring it into Element 3D, and I use a lot of After Effects and Photoshop.
Oh, nice. And what did you color it in? What did you use to color it?
I actually colored that in Premiere, but I recently learned DaVinci, and I just finished coloring my first feature film in DaVinci.
Sweet. Yeah.
By a director called Adrian Leon, and it's a movie called Kindred, which is a supernatural thriller that comes out in a couple of months.
What kind of release? Is it going to get a theatrical release?
I'm not sure. But it's had a really, really, really strong response from a particular distributor who has been
cool.
Who has been kind of guiding the filmmaker through the process. So,
and what's the genre?
Supernatural thriller.
Oh, geez. You know what? Debbie, you know what? I'll just say it once this way. I don't ever have to say it again. Anytime anybody that you think would be a good fit to come on my show and it would help them, right? Because the whole point of having Lex on here and you on here, the folks we had on here earlier in the day, is to promote you, to promote your work. Now, obviously, if you're working with, I don't know, DiCaprio or McCartney or somebody, probably not going to get them to come on the show. But anybody that we can help, get the word out, create a 1 hour, interview that could help, they could send to, distributors or whatever, edit it, let me know, because it's good for me, because it's a great way for me to get guests and make new connections. And like I said, I love working with bands and artists. So anything I can do to help.
It's funny, like all my friends are film directors. It's so fun. Like all my
like your friends.
Like, yeah, I feel like, because I've never directed a feature, I'm directing my first feature in a couple months.
Awesome.
And it's so funny because they all tease me about not being in the club yet, because my friends have directed like 1 film, 2 films, 13 films, and so it's funny that in the last year I've suddenly got into this. I've leveled up on my sphere of influence, I guess, and I know a lot of filmmakers now, and I still haven't made a film.
Well, you know what? The craft of filmmaking, something I knew before I started interviewing all of these, especially working level professional filmmakers, that it's about learning constantly, never stops, being exposed to great people, having, we know all about these groups, that you'll see these clusters of people, you had it with Lucas and Spielberg and, about 4 or 5 other people there in the 70s that were all great friends and greatly influenced everything. And you get this, like I said, this cluster of people that you form around yourself, and you become a network with, a lot of power. I was kidding earlier today too on the program. I was on another show. I think it was one of mine. And I was with like 3 really good, director, producer, writer, out in Hollywood. And I'm like, who went to film school? And there's 4 of us. And I was the only one, and like, I'm not making movies. So there's just so many ways to learn now. So having those friends, those are great friends to have in terms of doing your first feature, because, after the 3rd day and you're wiped out, you can call one of your friends like, what the fuck? fuck, like
Well,
this is hard.
my
Like,
assistant,
what do I do? Like, my blocking sucks. How can I make my blocking better or whatever? Right? You can ask a question. So yeah.
my assistant director has directed, I think, 13 films. So,
Oh, awesome. That's good. You pick a good AD, and that'll help a lot, right?
right. But I mean, I have a
Yeah.
lot of experience. You know, I've directed 50 to 100 TV commercials. I've done
Well,
9
those are
shorts. I've won 4 Emmys. So
right.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty much ready for this, for directing my first feature. And then the
Well,
big
that's good. And you feel it because all those director friend snobs of yours, they still think, yeah, whatever, Debbie, you're still not a feature director. I'm just teasing you. But but no, because if Darian were here, or heck, the guy I used to edit commercials for, like you, not nearly as good a quality as what you made here, but wrote it, shot it, uh, edited it, narrated it, everything. And Roger Legal, my mentor from ages ago, it's all about the craft. So many people taught me along the way, and you doing all those commercials and videos, music videos, that is plenty of good stuff, to learn. I think in my mind, as a feature film director, I would think if I had the skill and the knowledge of the technical side and the craft of it, then probably my strength would be the management, of the whole thing, because I'm a really good manager. It's something that I've been good at my whole life. So that part of the directing would be fine, but all those other pieces, I'd be freaking out, a lot. So it'll be fun.
As a director in the indie space, you have to be a Jill of all trades. I have to wear a lot of different hats. I have to know the craft code. I have to know technology code. I have to understand humanity to be a writer director. I have to be a leader and be able to speak to people at all levels and resolve conflicts, in real time. You just have to know so much about so much, to be a director. And I think that's one of the reasons why, age and experience comes into it as well. You have to have lived, right? To be a writer director, you have to have lived.
I won't. I will agree that. The thing is, I mean, I 100% agree, no doubt. And I, as a 55-year-old cis male, I'm, most apt to tell you that I, in fact, know how to do it better than anybody else if I'm following my, stupid line of male, lineage over history here. But there's something to be said for a 20-year-old with a cocky attitude and a red one, and ready to go out there and change the world. So that happens too. But yes, experience.
Yeah, I think definitely experience for the writing, right? I think directing is a young person's game, but writing.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
But writing, okay, like my biggest advice to a young writer would be, go get your heart broken, go break a law, go run with the bulls, live.
I love it. That's like, go be the modern day version of, Hemingway or somebody, get your life experience and then put that, into your writing. What I'll tell you what will blow me away too is if I do see something that, a great screenplay or something from somebody young in film, and it's going to be something that's probably related to some kind of, tragedy or problems. Tragedy today, I'm having trouble with that word. Issues in their lives, and like to have that much depth, it's because they've had so much experience in it. You know what I mean? In an individual thing. So that ability to write is something that is just fascinates me. I have a learning disability in written language. It takes me about 5 drafts to everybody else's 1. It used to take me 30. And actually I write pretty well because I have to pay so much attention to, because I have to remember every time what a participle is and all these things. It's just terrible. I have to look stuff up all the time, but the writing turns out better. But to be able to write like you can do, what is What is the most joy that you get when you write?
Honestly, like my favorite part of the whole process, because I'm a writer, director, editor, and they say that, a film is written three times: when you write it, when you shoot it, and when you edit it, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
so because I'm equally a writer, director, editor, it's all part of the same process to me. It's not like I do it and then hand it off to someone else. So my favorite part of the entire filmmaking process is right at the very end when I'm at a film festival and people get to ask me questions about the film. When it's all done and dusted and I get to tell people, how the magic was done and peel back the curtain and shock them with tales of how, it was a piece of string and a bit of sticky tape and some milk, and that's how we made the thing look like the universe or whatever. That to me is the most satisfying. Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Rev.
That's why I need somebody here in the booth with me.
You need supervision.
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, I shouldn't be allowed to touch any of these buttons, especially thanks to this marvelous knee medication that I have.
Nice. I actually
Yeah.
okay, so full disclosure, I smoked weed pretty much all day long, every day since a very young teenager.
Birth.
But I quit 3 weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations. Wow.
And it was an active choice because, I'm making a feature and there's a lot of moving parts. And even though it's pretty low budget, $200,000, it's still a lot of money for me to be responsible for my first film. And I just wanted to have that extra 10% of sharpness, because I figured if I slay this first film, it kind of sets me up for the next 10 years of my life,
There you go. I mean, if you continue to stop, great. But after you do slay it with this film, if I'm in Vegas, then we get stoned, or come to Chicago, I'll get stoned with you. It'll be a lot of fun.
It'll be fun. But I'm so excited because I actually start on Monday. I just got notified on Sunday this week, that I got a full scholarship to a Sundance workshop directing.
Yes, I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, so I start on Monday. Workshop.
Tell us about that.
Okay, crazy story. So you're not going to believe this.
Thank you, Mark. This is the CEO of HAPS over here, just by the way.
Oh, very cool, very cool. So I have a strange habit. Okay, this is gonna make me sound a little strange, but I tend to write in my sleep, like not pen on paper, but on my phone.
Not strange at all. I've written some of my best stuff while I was asleep.
So the other day in my sleep, I bought an $800 monitor for one of my cameras, but I did that while I was sleeping. And when I wake up, I'm kind of vaguely aware of I did it like a dream. But then earlier in the year, I went 3 nights where I was in my sleep. I was entering my short into film festivals. And we didn't realize till 3 days later that I'd entered the same festivals over and over again and paid the admission fee like 2-3 times.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So what's crazy, the reason where I'm going with the story is that back in January, in my sleep, I applied for the Sundance Directors Workshop. And I was horrified when I woke up the next morning to read my application and read the garbage that I'd written in the application.
Oh,
and
no.
It was so cocky. I actually honestly wrote this line. I said, there was a question that said, "Why should we pick you?" or something to that effect. And I said, "Pick me so that I can manifest the glory of God in cinema excellence." And I'm reading this the next day, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm never gonna be allowed in Sundance ever."
The whole state of Utah.
Yeah, and even worse than that, throughout the application, I put emojis, and it actually crashed their Linux server. And they had to contact me, and they told me that they took out all the emojis from the application.
Oh, but they took out the essence of your work.
so I was so shocked on Sunday to find out that
they picked you.
Full scholarship.
No, Debbie, they had to because you've got to go to Vegas to get the emojis out of the computer. No, that's awesome. The Sundance, I mean, that's really awesome. Congratulations. What? So
So,
how long is that? How long does that last?
well, it's online now because of COVID and stuff, but
Oh, sure.
it's an online workshop. It's 8 weeks, and it starts Monday. And the faculty are all Sundance alumni, and so I literally get to workshop my movie for 8 weeks, and then the day after the syllabus ends, I start shooting my
I was
feature.
going to say you're shooting, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Camera up to
next day.
speed, sound rolling. Yep.
Yeah.
That is going to be fun. Are you shooting in Vegas?
Yeah, yeah. It's the movie is called Move Me No Mountain. It's a drama. It's about a real estate agent who can't get over the death of her daughter. So she's crushed by the guilt. So she decides to peace out from society and become homeless.
Oh, right. And that's
Vegas.
how you reached out to me initially, was about my homelessness. That connection there.
Yeah, because I've actually been for 3, 4 months. I've been really embedded with the homeless community here in Vegas, doing research for the movie. I've been working with Las Vegas Rescue Mission, Shine a Light Foundation, and Freedom House. And a lot of people don't know this. There are 700 miles of tunnels, storm drain tunnels in Vegas. And in
Oh,
those tunnels, there was about 3,500 people that live there. And they have jurisdictions and they have mayors. And when you walk on the Las Vegas Strip, your feet are literally 4 foot above the people's heads in the tunnels.
wow. And
Did you
and
lose me?
no, you're still there. Okay, we're
Right.
back. That that's very interesting because I've seen reference to the homeless in Vegas in tunnels, like in, this has been a while ago, I think, like even like reading a Newsweek article or something, maybe quite a few years ago. But did you made connections with those folks down there too that are
Oh
actually in the
yeah,
tunnels? You've been down there?
yeah, many times. I've been under Caesar's Palace and under the Rio in the tunnels. I've met pregnant women that live there. I've met junkies. I've met mentally ill people.
Probably a lot of,
I've
wow.
interviewed a lot of people, and it's interesting because we, for the film, we've committed to recruiting on board 2 named actors, and I can't say who they are yet because
Awesome.
we're in the legal phase of signing contracts and everything. But
Sure.
we have 2 like really well-known actors that are going to be in the movie, and because of safety concerns and all this, we're actually recreating the tunnels in a studio because I wanted to shoot down there, but there's so many.
Your insurance company wouldn't probably even let you.
It's not even the insurance company. We just can't get permits because they're
From the city?
Yeah, they're flood tunnels, and it's a small budget film. It's ultra low budget, 200,000. So
Right.
maybe if Warner Brothers came in or something, they could swing
Well,
it.
hey,
We
Mr.
can't.
Warner, come back from the dead. I know you like live streaming, and Debbie's awesome. So, yeah, wow. Where did you come up with the story for the film?
That's another crazy story. So back in February, I think it was, there's this new competition in Las Vegas called the Lucky Sevens. And essentially, they pick 7 filmmakers, up and coming filmmakers, and they are giving each of us $7,000 in essence to as seed money to start the ball rolling with our movies. And in order to enter to be considered, I had to pitch them, and I had this whole horror story that I thought I was going to do for. It was based on a Japanese folklore thing, and I kind of mixed it with a American hairdresser thing, and came up with this whole scary idea. And I pitched it to them, and they loved it. And at the 11th hour. Literally, I'd gone through like 2 or 3 of these kind of interviews with them and stuff and I made it to the finalists. And at the 11th hour that morning, I woke up and I just had the whole idea for the movie in my head, and I said, hey, I just want to do a hard pivot. And also the other thing is, I was listening to oh, I'm drawing a blank. What's her name? She directed Wonder Woman. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. She directed Monster with Charlize Theron. Oh my gosh.
Catherine.
Anyways, I was listening to. It will come to me in a second, randomly.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to her do a live talk from Sundance this year, and one of her parting words of wisdom was, if you're going to create something, try and create something that adds goodness into the lexicon, into the zeitgeist, into the whatever. And it really affected me, because I thought in film school I was always taught, do horror first because it's cheaper, it's a genre film, it's easy to distribute, there's a ready-made market. What's scary in America is scary in Germany. But it just felt like I was just doing it just to get it out there, as opposed to creating heartfelt art from a genuine place of, moving an emotional needle. And I just felt like if I did some kind of slasher kind of thing, that I'm just not going to move the needle in terms of people really noticing me as a genre auteur and training, genre jumping filmmaker, which I am. So I decided to do a hard left at the 11th hour and pitch them on a drama about homelessness in Vegas, and they loved it. And so that got the ball rolling. So I won that money. Then I met an amazing CSA casting director on Clubhouse.
Oh, there you go. Got to get Clubhouse in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, and then the Sundance thing happened, and so everything's just like falling into place. And
that is fantastic.
And yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm like equal parts terrified and overly confident.
How many weeks are you going to be shooting?
13 days.
13 days, and like it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most expensive part
for an indie. I mean, that's 10 days to 10. I mean, 20 days. In an indie film, people would be like, "Oh wow, this is luxurious," probably.
Right.
But yeah, 13. That's probably around average, I would think, for an indie film.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the screenplay. I mean, for indies, we're always trying to find that screenplay that is, 2 actors in one room.
That unicorn screenplay. Yeah,
exactly. And mine ended up not being that.
How many actors and how many on-screen people are going to be in this film?
That's the crazy thing, because I thought this will be so easy. It's just a homeless person walking around outside. I can just go anywhere, shoot anywhere, and it's one person. But the reality is, a lot of homeless people stay to themselves, but they come into contact with a lot of people for very short periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wanted to be representative of the homeless experience and treat it with dignity and respect and authenticity. And so, back to your question, it ended up being, I think the full cast, I mean, like extras, featured extras, supporting, leads, and my dog, is 60.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
That's, crap. That's a lot of people. And you said,
but I mean, like maybe 15 of them or 20 of them are extras,
Sure.
So.
But you've got a great ED. Are you producing it? Is somebody else producing it for you?
So I got to throw out some names. Patrick
yes.
is my producer, and
that's what I wanted to do.
He's been a long-term collaborator with me for my short that's on the festival circuit right now. He produced that. He also produced my last short a couple years ago called Send Hollywood My Love. He's Emmy-nominated producer in his own right, and he's amazing. And then my AD, it looks like it's going to be John Kring. I don't know if you know the director, John Kring. He's pretty active on Clubhouse, and he's made 13, 14 movies. So
wow.
Massive experience. And I want to say the name of the of our casting director,
Of course.
but we haven't signed the deal memo yet. Like we've got the deal memo,
Oh,
we haven't signed it, so I don't think I can say it. But her name is Kimberly, so I just want to give a shout out to Kimberly so
awesome.
she doesn't think I'm forgetting.
Well, hopefully maybe when Kimberly sees this or whoever she is, it'll all be sealed, solid, signed, sealed, and delivered. That is
Hopefully.
very exciting. I felt like Jeff
And in
Goldblum for a
fact,
moment there.
on the board behind me, you can see some of the people we were considering for some of the smaller roles. So
Well,
it's been
is anybody
and
shooting?
there's the camera we're going to shoot it with.
What are you shooting with?
Oh, look, I'm glad you asked. Let me go grab it because I am a
Awesome.
geek.
Yes, beautiful thing. I am a photographer by trade, and a filmmaker, I guess, by training that did minor work in commercials. Holy cow! Did you have a picture of this on your website the other day?
I think on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the camera.
So this is okay. So I got to give a massive shout out to Zcam. This is Zcam. I'm pretty sure Red very worried about this camera because this is a market disruptor. The camera's like tiny. It's just inside there. It's
Right.
It's like the size of a Rubik's cube. And then this particular build has a lot of stuff going on.
Is this their total build? Like they put this together, or did you just buy the camera and you rigged it all yourself?
Yeah, I rigged it all myself. This is kind of like out of control. And
it's awesome though. Is it a lot cheaper than the Red?
Pink cage. The camera's called Pink Vicky, and we have custom pink sprigs, which are like little cable holders, and these are the pink Debian pink.
Oh, back to the cables where you started. Hey, Mark Gage, buy me one too. What is it? Must be a lot cheaper than the Red if you said it's a industry disruptor there.
Yeah, I mean the camera itself is like, let me get it off the little hi-hat. The camera itself is about I think $4,000, and this is a 6K cinema camera.
Holy shit! $4,000 for 6K. I mean, you're looking at that's
fully rigged out. This is probably like close
20?
to 15,000, probably.
15. Yeah. I will happily accept Debbie's camera rig if anybody wants to email her or hit her up in a DM, and she'll tell you everything she got. And then you can send it to me. I am digging this thing. I'm kind of getting like, cinematographer. I'm catching some feelings for your camera, Debbie.
I'm in love with this camera because
I can tell.
Because the crazy thing is, right, the camera that I shot Dark Lights with, my short, was a Sony FS700R with a Odyssey 7Q, which is a fancy way of saying really heavy camera. It was like 22 pounds.
Oh, good Lord. So that's like back when I used to carry a Betamax, like full size, news camera. That's
right. And it was so
very
heavy that I had to make a custom rig just to use it. So I had a army backpack with Bowflex arms and then chains that came down. And we used to call it the Ghostbuster because it looked like one of those Ghostbuster packs.
Some kind of torture device.
Oh gosh, it was so torturous. It was hell. But when you see Dark Lights, you'll be like, wow, what a beautiful image.
Good thing you weren't doing like I don't know, like some kind of film, by Jane Eyre or something with this monster looking rig that the actors had to perform to.
Right. So this is so much lighter, and it's just so flexible. And I believe they have these, or at least one of them, on the International Space Station. And they just use this for Mission Impossible 6 as well. This is a real market disruptor. And what's amazing about it sounds like such a commercial for Zcam, but I mean, I can't
go for it.
I can't plug them enough. The CEO of the company, Kins and Liu, took particular interest in my feature film coming up, and he asked the #1 distributor in America for Zcam, which is Salty's cameras, to lend me this EVF for the movie, this little piece.
Oh, nice.
$1,000. So the CEO in China is supporting my film.
Oh, that is fantastic. What do you have? Let me see that real quick on because you've got the viewfinder then. And what's the top box up there?
Oh, this is hold on, which way am I supposed to
Yeah,
go?
with like a logo on it or something.
Yeah, that's just like a monitor recorder with a little hood on it to keep the sun out. And
oh, okay. All right.
This is the monitor.
So you can watch it. That gives you a live view.
Yeah, so I can either watch it on the EVF or I can watch
Right.
it on the
But I
monitor.
mean,
But
on
the
the
monitor
EVF.
is also a recorder, so it's actually got a SSD.
Oh,
Here.
excellent. So you can do a backup recording?
Yeah, it's a dual system, so I can either record directly into the camera or directly into this.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out to him for sure, Mark, and let him see this clip. And I'll get you a camera too. Ha ha. No, listen, folks. I'll happily talk about your camera. That and then the lens. What are you using? What's your primary lens?
This isn't a crazy lens. This is a pretty tame lens. This is a Tamron 24-70 zoom. It's not a very expensive lens, but it's excellent value. It's like a $800 lens. But I think we are for the movie. I think we're going to be renting RE prime lenses or.
There you go. Like lenses that like cost more than cars, probably.
Oh yeah, $30,000 lens. It's like
yeah,
$1,500 for 3-day rental kind of lens. So I'm a little nervous about that.
Yeah, this is. Oh man, I am getting like, ooh. I guess yeah. Wow, I got to make even. I got to win the lottery here because I got a lot of. I've got the film stuff back in my blood here in the last few months. But let me ask you this: is anybody? Do you got anybody shooting any behind the scenes stuff of your guys shoot?
You know what? We're gonna do that on the last day because I always shoot with closed sets. I don't like visitors on my set. I don't like distractions on my set. I'm a bit of a tyrant on set. So I don't like things to throw me off. And I know that part of the executive producer unit, the 777 competition that gave us some money, I know they want to do a behind the scenes documentary. So I believe that we're going to shoot on the last day. And the crazy thing is, in the movie, at the second act climax, there's a surreal kind of Burning Man desert rave scene. And we're actually shooting that on the last day so that instead of a rap party, we can just yell cut and party in the desert with our DJs and our smoke bombs. And
I love it. So you got the budget for a party because it's needed for the last day of the film.
Exactly. So we've scheduled that for that. So I think we'll do BTS on that day because, obviously if we're not in a groove by the last day, we're super screwed.
Right. Well, that's cool because the reason that I mentioned that is that I would definitely like to see when you eventually put that footage together too, because I love for people to see behind the scenes stuff and how filmmaking comes together, the craft of it, and the excitement of it. If you've never been on a film set or in a TV studio or any of these things, look, there's a lot of things that are fun in life, but there's just something incredibly special about working on a film. And it doesn't matter if you're the gaffer, the best boy, the director, the AD, whatever it is, the producer. It's a special kind of magic that, because it's such a collaborative effort, kind of in real time. Oh, and there's another star of the show there, right? Cookie?
Yeah, she's actually got a role in my movie as a homeless dog.
I love it.
Which is hilarious because they get to roll her in grease and dirt. And the funny thing is she's a rescue dog, so she's going to be mad as hell at me because she's now
she's like, come on, what are we doing? We're slumming it.
I'm worried she's going to call the DAG Dog Union.
Well, fantastic, Debbie. Please, you've got a busy like it's going to get really busy for you. So
Yeah.
it'll be tough to probably see too much of you before the film is done. And then, of course, you got to edit and color it and everything else. But please stay in touch. And, just so looking forward to getting to talk to you again and see how these projects are coming together. I have no qualms about really telling you that I would love to have Lex on the show, and
Yeah.
also any filmmaker friends, send them my way, because I'm just about promoting people.
And you
And
got to check out my short Dark Lights, because I think it's going to blow your mind.
I'm literally gonna watch it. I was trying to watch it before, but I usually nap before the show, just and today we did the UK edition, so it threw my day off. I'm gonna watch it right away. I'll post it.
Is that and watch that?
Is that for public consumption or no?
No. That was
that's that film, right? Yeah, so haha, I get to watch it, and you guys will have to wait. This is great, Debbie. Please just reach out anytime and let me know if I can do anything. I need somebody to fly me out to Vegas, and maybe I can sweet talk you into letting me be on set and watch. Maybe someday I'll get lucky and get to do that, because wow, it's just going to be fun. I'm so excited for you.
Maybe you can come out for the last day of shooting and join the mini burning rave.
There we go. I'll put it out there to the universe. Maybe we'll get lucky.
Awesome.
And I am, like I said, just super excited for you.
Thank you.
I have not done a tenth of what you've done in these fields, and I know how much fun it is. So yeah, you're just gonna have a blast, and just wow, it's groovy. I'm excited.
Telling me to enjoy the ride and take lots of photos, and
yeah, and
I will say this about the experience. Up to this point, it's been like, when you're a kid and there's that thing when you like, oh, we have the day off school, yay, but we're going to the dentist, boo, but we're going to the beach, yay, but it's going to be raining, boo. The whole experience has been like that. It's such a roller coaster. Like some days I feel like the happiest person in the world, and then the next day I feel like running away. So
well, you know what I think is that with the bipolar, as I've learned to manage it over the years, I guess that when everything's on the decline, I'm just in it's going to swing up again, so the fun keeps coming back, and just, have a fantastic time. And thank you so much for giving me your time this evening to come on the show. This has just been a really fun time.
Thank you so much. It's been really fun and lovely getting to know you. And let's do this again sometime.
Hey, for sure. And stay with me. I'm going to close us out, but we can talk for a minute once we check out here. But listen, Revolution McKinnis here. I have been with Debbie Richards, filmmaker and just awesome person in general. And we've had a lovely conversation. So if you're watching this on replay and you got this far, give us an award, sponsor me. You know what? Hey, dude, if you work at Fender, I want to use you as a sponsor for the show. So meaning that if you know anybody that has a product or a service that's got international reach, let me know. Hook me up with them. Let's get their product on here like we did with Scooch, and order a Scooch case and make my day. And Debbie, thank you so much. We'll stay connected for sure.
No doubt.
All right, everybody. I appreciate all of you watching. Everybody out there, Mark Gage, Tizzy. I'm going to get in a tizzy. Kizzy's going to get in a tizzy. Shabazz, Luke, and everybody else that was out there watching. Thanks for joining us. We will see you guys. I think we have something on Friday night. So peace be with you, and namaste.